everybody, so we're going to talk about threat protection inside APIStrong. So if I go to the landing page and I log in, what I want to do is I'm changing to the development one just because I don't want to mess with production. But in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my APIs. I can see the list of APIs, and up here I can see threat protection. Now, what I want to do though is we're going to create one. I'm going to use this people API. It's just a list of bike shops, or I'm sorry, I think it's a list of people from the bike shop table, but anyway, that's not important. What is important, then I'm going to go, let's create a project. We're going to say new. We're going to just call this demo. That's fine. Demo project. And inside demo project, I'm going to say new, create API. I'm going to paste that right there, and we'll just test it out before I even save it. And as we can see, it actually brings back the data. And again, there's other videos on how to do this, so I'm just clicking. And what we're going to do is we're going to save this one now. Okay, give it just a second to save. And while that's saving, okay, so now it's saved, I'm going to go to threat protection. This is the URL that my developers would use now. So if I open this up into a new browser, and it says, hey, you can't get to this. Well, of course I can. And this is the data that returned that I would expected, okay? Now, with saying that, we're going to come back. Let's go ahead and close this one. There is a place you can go and just say, what is my IP? And that will tell me the public IP to my machine, which is here. So we're going to put this to our notepad just for now. So as you can tell, I just stuck it to the notepad. I'm going to drag it to the other screen just to get it off our plate. And I'm going to close this. Now, each of these have help to help you see what to do. Okay, so what is rate limit? So let's open this up. And this takes me right to it to give me more information. That's very important because there's a lot of stuff here. So if you look at rate limit, I want to limit the size that's being used in my API. Here, time availability. Let's say I only want this API available between this time frame, or I don't want it available within this time frame. Okay. Another one is, let's go ahead and drop these. IP range will come back to because that's the reason I got my IP address. Message size. So what if my payload, I want to limit the payload that goes through. Now, all this is to protect you against threat protection, which is another way of saying hackers, right? So we're trying to keep your API secured and keep them from getting chaos, right? For an example, code injection. We do not want HTML or JavaScript pass through our API. We don't want it in the URL. We don't want it in the URL path. And we definitely don't want it in the body. Okay. Now, again, if I scroll down, let's look at the last one, which is SQL injection. And the same thing. I don't want SQL information passed through because if I have an API going to my database, I don't want you deleting my tables, right? I don't want you to put things in there that shouldn't be in there. Okay. Now, with saying that, if you don't know what it means, again, click on the little icon. It tells you what it is. And it also gives you a way to test it as well. Well, some of them do, not most of them. But at least we tell you how to test it. Okay. Now, if we close this one, this gets more real estate. I want to look at IP range. So in IP range, again, I don't know what it is, so I'm going to click on it. How do I test it? It's right here. What does it mean? So let's open it up. I'm going to say forbid my IP. Let me drag this back over here, my handy dandy notebook. If you remember, we got it just a few seconds ago from the browser. And I'm going to say forbid this IP. Now, what this is doing is saying I'm not allowed to get to this URL. Okay, that's very important. Now, if we saved it, I'm going to go up here and hit refresh. And you can see I am now failed. Basically, I'm banned from looking at this. And I just like that word. I'm banned. Like, no, you're not allowed to see this. You are banned from using this IP. Now, just for fun, we'll go ahead and delete it. And we'll hit refresh. And now I can get back to it again. So that's very important. Now, what you would do is your developers would use this, of course, this IP or this address. And with this address, I can use threat protection to keep any unwanted threats going through my IP address. Now, I'm not going to get in too much detail, but if I click back on home and I can see these. So if I go to my reports, well, let's do it this way. There's a couple ways to get to this, and one of the easiest ways, and I'm just going to click on This one I think is the one we just did. It is. So if I click on this one and look at the history, I can see that this was an outside source. And when I click on it, I can get the information about it. I talked about it in another video, but more importantly, I can see the threat protection. Now, we didn't save any of that, so it didn't go through yet, and it takes a little bit to calculate because it's a report. But if we look at another one, oh, you know what? I probably could have looked at it right there. I'm sorry. If I look at one of the other ones down here and hit threat protection, see, I can see what I'm looking for. IP range, this is the IP that was blocked. And yes, that is my public IP. It will change daily, so do not try to hack into it. But as you can see, I can see this IP keeps trying to hit my portal right here. So therefore, I can take actions. I hope all this was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.